Welcome to BYOB, or the Being Your Own Brand series. I'm Chelsi Stahr, and I'd like to share with you a few of my thoughts this week. I'm very fortunate to live near several incredible art museums. Every time a friend or family member comes into town, I make sure and take them to one of my favorites. I'm always amazed at the different reactions that I get from people. 5 people can absolutely love one painting in particular, and the 6th person hates it. When I ask them what they like or don't like about a piece, quite often the response is, well, I may not know art, but I know what I like. So if you turn this saying around, is it really that people know what they like, or is it that they like what they know? This reminded me of a few years ago when I was working as a producer for a national radio chain. I had one client in particular who would come in monthly and do a new ad. He would have a poorly worded, handwritten script and would insist on voicing it himself. Now, I would always offer my help on both his script and his read, but he would never take me up on it. "I know you're trying to help," he'd say, "but I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I doubt you know more about my business than I do." After several months of doing this, he'd complain about how his business was falling off and how his ads weren't working for him, but still, he wouldn't take my advice. He insisted that what had worked in the past would work in the future. Eventually. You see, the problem was, this man spent so much time on day-to-day problems of running his business that he had completely lost touch with his consumer. He may have known his business backwards and forwards, but he didn't know his customers. Just as your doctor recommends that you get a checkup every 2 years for your health, the same should be done with your business. In order to stay competitive, it's essential to review both your market and your consumers' needs every 24 months at minimum. The reason? Markets are never static. There are multiple forces both inside and outside that create constant change. Areas like governmental regulation, competitors entering and exiting a marketplace, change in technology, production, and distribution, all of this can affect commerce overnight. Let's use political polling as an example. Polls happen almost daily. Polling doesn't only report on opinion, but it can often shape opinion as well. The key to polling is the same as consumer research, knowing the right questions to ask the right people. Think back to our most current political campaign. How many times did the lead change over the 8 months prior to the election? And how often did the polls affect that change? Consumer markets are no less susceptible, though rarely as volatile as a political candidate. They are still human beings, and they're just as vulnerable to the psychological trigger points that influence purchasing decisions. Here's another example. If you had a local hardware store in New Hampshire, how do you compete with the big box competition? You can't carry the same volume of products, but what you can do is focus on the local needs of your customers. Since New Hampshire's a heavy snow state, you'd sell snowblowers, but perhaps focusing more on snowblower repair and parts might give you an edge over your competition. Say that same hardware store was in a high-crime area, such as Detroit. If you concentrated on security systems and home safes, that might be the way to go. Or in Florida, stocking up on pool supplies during the winter might very easily give you an upper hand over the big box stores who don't stock pool supplies during colder months. The point is, you may know what your business is selling, but unless you know what people are buying and why, your bottom line might just end up staying on the bottom. Just a little food for thought. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll listen again. I welcome your comments. And thanks for stopping by.